Hello everyone, welcome back to the another session in Principles of Programming Languages. We are continuing to learn about 5th unit. So the last video we covered about what is functional programming language and what are the fundamental features of it. This video will be going to study about a specific programming language which is Lisp. So here Lisp basically stands for list processor. This is what Lisp abbreviation, and we'll be going to see the data which is using linked list. Fine. So this is about the origin of the Lisp programming language. Now we'll see in detail what is Lisp and what it contains and how it implements. These three things we'll cover in this video. So basically many functional programming languages have been developed. The very oldest the language is what? Lisp. Lisp or else the descendants of Lisp. So Lisp, Common Lisp, Schema, ML, Haskell, all these are descendants of Lisp. So most commonly used language is what? Lisp. So this was developed by John McCarthy and it was in 1959 year. Now let's talk about data types and structures. Basically Lisp contains two kind of data structures which are atoms and list. We say it is data objects or we say it is data type. So which are atoms and list. Now let's see what is an atom, what is a list. So list elements are pairs where the first part is the data of the element which is a pointer to either an atom or a nested list. Now let's say we'll justify the first point. Now take one list. This is what the list. So according to the first part, list elements are pairs. So now I have taken a pair of elements, and where the first part is the data of the element. This is what data of the element, which is pointer to either an atom or else to the nested list. Now when I have a single parameter over here, I call this with the name of atom. When I have two parameters, we say it is a nested list or else we say it is a list. Fine. Now I'll give an example. When I say A comma B, A is what? A is first part of the data is what? Element. Now let's call this with the name of element. Fine. B is what? A is pointing to the B. Fine. Now that we put into the structure. The structure what we use is linked list. Linked list basically consists of a node which have two parts, data part and address part. Now this is what the data part, this is what the address part, which point to the next element, and this point to the atom. So atom is what? B. And it can also point to the nested list. What I have said here, it can point to the another element or to the empty list. So let's say that if I write A, B, C. Now A will be pointing to B, C. It's a list. So this is what actually we see these kind of things in Lisp. Now we see with the example. Elements are linked together in list with the second part. Atoms and list are not types in the sense that imperative language have types. So that point we covered in the last video. Imperative languages are static typed languages, dynamic typed languages. Non-imperative languages, which I say that functional programming languages now, those are typeless languages. So in fact the original Lisp was a typeless language. Atoms are either symbols in the form of identifiers or numeric literals. Now this part we see with an example. Now let's see about list are specified in Lisp by delimiting their elements with parentheses. Now here the elements of simple list are restricted to atoms as in A, B, C, D. As far as those are single item, we say it is atom. Fine. So now A is what? It is a element which will point to these atoms. Fine. Nested list structures are also specified by parentheses. Now let's look at A is pointing to BC, D is pointing to E. It can be point to the single atom, and E can be pointing to the FG. Fine. Is a list of 4 elements. The first is the atom A. The second is the sublist BC. We say it is list or nested list. Nested list is what? This. A list contains in another list is called as nested list. So sublist is BC. The third is the atom D. The fourth is the sublist EFG, which has its second element, the sublist EFG. So this is what a Lisp programming uses data structure. Now let's see, internal representation of list in Lisp is this. Now A is an element. A is an element which is pointing to the B. So that was there. It is an A which is pointing to the B. Now B is pointing to the C atom. C is pointing to the D atom. Now these are directed to point to the null value, because there is nothing to point actually. We say it is null value as you find in the list with single atoms. Now let's look into this. These are what internal representation of a sublist with the list. Now this structure is what we have with list, atom and list. Earlier example we do have list with only atoms. This list is having atom and the list. And here A is pointing to BC, D is pointing to E, E is pointing to FG. Now look at this. A is pointing to BC. Okay, BC is a list actually here. It is not atom. That's the reason A is not pointing directly to B and C. We were taken one more null structure, and through this null structure we were pointing to BC. Okay, now let's see, D is the another pointer. D also cannot point directly to E because it is a nested structure. So in the previous example, when you find AB, as you don't have any kind of other intermediary element, A has pointed to B. There is no null value in between. Here A can be pointed to BC. As BC is one list, you have to take a null structure or null node to point not to the direct. So this is what the way of writing the structure. You can even look here. So even when you take this list into consider, E is internally represented like this. As we were not doing the atom structure, you have to take this pointing. E is pointing to FG. FG is what? It's a separate structure. Fine. So that's what F and G are pointing together. So with this thing you have to understand, a atom can point to the another atom, but a atom cannot point directly to a list. Correct? So if a atom wanted to point to a list, you have to take a null value. Now you will see, we can see even the other example. Let's say A, B, C. Fine. A is what? The first element which will point to the next. So as you are not pointing to the direct atom, you have to take a linked list and it is pointing to the null value first of all. Then from this null value, we will point to the B and we will point to the C. So this is the way how you have to do it. It will be A, it will be B, it will be C. If it is only A comma B, then what will do? It is an atom, it is also an atom. Now the structure will be A is pointing to directly B. A atom can point to the other atom. Done? So this is the way how internal representation will be made among list and the nested list. You can point atom to list, you can point to list to nested list. So this is about Lisp data structure. Now we'll see even about simple arithmetic, how it performs in Lisp language. Let's say plus is the operator. So we were just discussed in the previous example of fundamentals functional programming languages. Even we'll write these kind of structures in the programming language. Now plus is what? Plus is the function name, 5, 7 are the parameters. Now plus is the function name, 3, 4, 7, 6 are the parameters. Now what this function will return? Now you have to remember even this point, functions will return a value. Now plus, if it is a function, it has to return a value. What the value it returns? 12 it returns. And what the value it returns? It returns 7 plus 3, 10, 4 plus 6, 10, it returns 20. Function returns a value, and the simple arithmetic carried out from Lisp with the syntactical structure. So this is about Lisp programming language, and the other languages we'll see in the next video. Thank you all.